I've got my templates cut out, I've got my box frame built, I've got all my tools ready to go. I've read the instruction manual. That means in today's video, I'm going to be installing a rooftop air conditioner on the van build, and it's all sponsored by RecPro. Now, one thing I will say about this air conditioning unit is that the included manual is actually really good. It's really easy to follow, and it has exact measurements on how to make your template, and it also gives you instructions on how to make a template for the unit. So I didn't spend a lot of time on this. There's exact measurements in the manual. I didn't really follow them, I just used them as a ballpark. This is close enough for me to figure out where the unit will be positioned on the roof, and then I made a cut template that is exact, so I can use that to cut, but this will help me know how much space it's going to take once it's up on side the roof. Well, the first thing you do in this project is you have to install your roof bracket. So you use the template that I mentioned to find your position, cut your hole, install the bracket. So that's what we're going to do first. Finding the center line of the roof on a ProMaster is pretty easy. They have this panel up here that's got the ridges that are a little bit less aggressive as the rest of the roof panel. There's 5 little ribs, so you can just choose the one in the middle, put a mark on the center, you're good to go. So it looks like my cut hole will eliminate these 3 middle ribs, so that's going to leave a completely flat mounting surface for that bracket to sit on. So that's kind of just luck of the draw, I guess, with the ProMaster, but I sure am glad to see that. So that'll be really easy to seal up. Well, they always say measure twice, cut once, but I think I've measured about 9 times, and I'm comfortable with where this template is at, so I guess it's time to go ahead and cut the hole in the roof. All right, the hole's cut. I tested out with the bracket. It looks like it fits fine. I'm gonna go through and with some sandpaper, smooth out the cut there and put some primer on it, let that dry up. Then I gotta seal down this bracket to the roof. Okay, before I can seal the bracket up on the roof, I need to clean the surface, and I've got this single stage primer here with a little wool dauber. So I'm gonna do that and let it dry, and then it should be ready for the bracket to go down. These little wool daubers are awesome for these cut edges. I wish I would have had these whenever I did all the windows. I didn't find them until the last one, but these are great. Definitely pick up some of these if you're doing these cuts. Now the instructions tell you to apply the lap sealant directly to the bracket and then put it up on the roof. And it says to make a bead all the way around it. And you go around these screw holes here, so that way it makes a seal all the way around. You don't want to go on this side of it, of the screw hole. You want to keep it on the outside. Okay, I have the roof bracket glued down with lap seal. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to dry. My next step is to put the unit up on the roof. This thing is too big and heavy and awkward for me to get up a ladder, so I'm going to have to phone a friend while the lap sealant's drying. Okay, me and my buddy Scott, we got it up on the roof. We backed his truck up to the side. He's got a topper on it. We just put it up on the topper, stood on the tailgate, and lifted it up there. Pulled the cardboard out, and now we're ready to go. Now we got to position it above these holes here and line up to where we can run the bolts up into the rooftop unit. Can you feel it? All right, are you able to pick it up? Yeah. How's it looking? It's pretty good. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. Now, because there is no wiring included, I bought an extension cord that we're going to cut the end off of. You can't just use a regular household extension cord. This needs a 20 amp cord. You can tell the difference on those because one of the three prongs is turned sideways. Now this also has heavy duty wiring. This is 12 gauge instead of the standard 14 gauge that you see on normal household 15 amp extension cords. So this is kind of special. I couldn't find this at Menards or Lowe's, Home Depot, or any of our local hardware stores, so I had to order this on Amazon. Any of these products that I'm using, I will be putting links down in the description below. Okay, so something that I never considered was how you run the wire into the fan unit to where it connects up with the wiring in the rooftop unit. I think the best route might be to drill a hole in the wood, but we've already got it bolted in. I wish I would have known that before. I could have went ahead and had a hole drilled in it. That would have been way easier, but I might just see if I can put a hole in it after it's already up there. I built a simple box frame out of some 1x2 I had in the shop. This will help support the weight of the unit up on the roof, as well as give some support for the mounting hardware and the bracket. Later on, whenever I finish out the ceiling, I'll use this as my ceiling space to gap out the finished ceiling and the control unit. This is when I should have drilled a hole in the side to run the cable into, but I didn't know to do that ahead of time, so I had to do it after it was installed up on the roof. It was fine. I ended up using a 1/2" drill bit and put a hole in the side, and we were able to get the cable into the unit that way. Scott here is a professional electrician, so he connected up the wires for me. It looked pretty simple though. I think it was just 3 wires. Pretty easy and simple stuff. I think anybody could do it, but since he was here on hand, he's a professional, I'll just let him handle it. All right, so since the rear vent will be blowing into the bulkhead, it says to block off that vent from the inside. So I'm going to put some gaff tape on the inside of that just to kind of block the airflow off. It's up there. Now we gotta put these screws in. All right, there's some little tabs that hold that in place, and then you can put in these 4 panhead screws that are included in there. Now this is just kind of a temporary installation. We're gonna power it on, make sure it works and everything the way it's supposed to. And then later on, whenever I finish out the ceiling, I'll pull this panel here down, and that way I can trim out all around it and then put that right back up, and it'll cover up all of the excess. Alright, we're going to try to fire this thing up for the very first time. I don't really know how to operate this yet. It's all done by remote control. There's no buttons on the unit. I guess there's a touch button on there. Compressor kicked on. It's really quiet. I forgot to mention, this is the 13,500 BTU unit, which is a little bit overkill for our tiny little van, but it has a heater built into it and space is limited inside there, so I didn't want to add a ceramic heater or something like that. You know, that takes up floor space, something else to plug into. So this I have mounted up on the ceiling. It works off that remote, doesn't take up any floor space whatsoever. It runs off shore power like the air conditioner unit. So that's why I chose that. Plus it's the low profile model. It's only 7 inches above the roof line, so it doesn't take up much space there. It's just barely taller than the Max Air fan. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. The air conditioner install went great, actually. It was easier than I expected it to be. Everything went really smooth. Big shout out to my homie Scott over there for helping out, move it around, get it up there on the roof, getting it wired up. If you're interested in one of these air conditioner units or anything from RecPro, their website actually has a whole lot of outdoor and camping stuff. It has way more stuff than I had anticipated. So check out recpro.com, and if you want to get one of these, I'm going to put a link down in the description below for the unit. It's available on Amazon, and it's also available obviously from their site. And if you want to use my discount code GENTRY, G-E-N-T-R-Y, at their website, you can get a nice little discount. That tells them that I sent you there, and they give you, I think, 5% off for using that. So definitely worth it. Check out their website, see if there's anything else that you're interested in. Be sure you join me for the next episode. I'm going to be doing the subfloor, and I'm going to build a sliding mountain bike tray. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Hit that like button and get notified the next time I post a video. So I'll see you then. Thanks a lot.